Army Sarge's Heroes is a game made by 3DL Company for the PS1, Nintendo 64, and then Dreamcast. This game was highly marketed as the biggest game in its franchise, as it's gotten many advertisements in these gaming magazines. Now, I would want to say right now that I would highly recommend you guys, if you guys think this game is good, I would just get the Dreamcast or Nintendo 64 version, as they're more of a definitive way to play them, in my own experience. Now, when it comes to the game, you play as Sarge, and some of your soldiers have actually been captured by the Tan Army, in which it's your job to go and rescue them. I know people are going to say, well, just because the Tan Army's evil doesn't mean they're actually evil, they're misunderstood, but the thing is, if you guys watch the plot of the game, they actually do mention that them being evil and admitting to it. So, you can't really say nothing about that afterwards. It's a third-person shooter game. Unlike its previous games being a tactical, over-the-top shooter game, this is a third-person shooter, and you can shoot down plenty of Tan soldiers. There's also Tan tanks as well, in which you will need a rocket launcher to shoot, in which it takes a rocket or two to hit that thing. The game uses in-game cutscenes, unlike the PS1 version that usually uses the animated cutscenes. The Dreamcast version is a mix between the two of them together, but the only difference is that the Dreamcast version was developed by Sapphire, who did a great job making the Rainbow Six port of Nintendo 64. When it comes to the Dreamcast version, they updated the graphics, but they used the Nintendo 64 cutscenes and mixed with PS1 audio cutscenes. I should also mention, when it comes to 3DO games, some versions of these sort of games changes the music. For example, Dreamcast and Nintendo 64 versions has completely different music. Some of them are pretty much the same, but they seem to have been remixed, I want to say, or rearranged, as I want to say that right now. Sure, the camera can be a pain in the butt at times, but when it comes to playing the Nintendo 64 version of the game, I actually got quite used to it, and I was able to get past through everything in the game. Also, it also has a multiplayer that you guys can also play on as well. And for the Nintendo 64 version, it does come in support with the expansion pack, which means you can use higher resolution graphics for the game. I'll also mention that the Dreamcast version is not the PC version, as the PC version uses the PS1 game instead of the Dreamcast one. This will actually be the only Army Men game to come out on the Sega Dreamcast during its time. When you do play the game, it actually can be quite difficult at times when it comes to certain missions. And by the way, there are no checkpoints. Yeah, that's right, there are no checkpoints, which means if you miss out once, you have to start a whole level over again, which can actually stink, but once you guys learn your mistakes and know what to do, then you'll actually get right through the game in no time. There are different weapons such as the flamethrower, shotgun, sniper rifle, and your current assault rifle, of course. The only thing is, the assault rifle does one hit to each enemy, which makes other weapons useless unless you really want to use the sniper rifle so you don't have to get hit by anyone else. The only weapons I would really use in this game are the assault rifle, sniper rifle, and plenty of explosions, like the grenade launcher, grenades, or rocket launcher to deal with vehicles. The only annoying thing about this game are those big giant robots. Yeah, they're more like these giant robot toys. They are a pain in the butt to get through, and at one point, I came across them and I died to them in one hit. I believe it was one hit, probably because I had like a little health during that time. But still, those things were overpowered, and when I saw them the next time, I just went right through the warp hole, like I should have done in the beginning. Which is actually a good thing that I actually did, because that thing was a pain in the butt to deal with. So yeah, the only way to take on those big giant robots is by using rocket launchers. I'm not making this up. Or at least some sort of other explosions, but again, it can be difficult. There are two different sequels for this game. There's Sarge's Heroes 2 and Sarge's War, which Wars is actually the last 3DO game they've ever made, and to be quite honest, I've played that game, and when it comes to Sarge's War, it's backwards compatible in Xbox 360, which again they actually put a lot more effort in that game. I think the only Army Men games ever put more effort in is the Sarge's games, and I also do mean the Air Combat or Air Attack. It's the same game, it's just they're named differently. In which, if you guys do think that Air Combat, or you never heard of Air Combat or Air Attack, you should guys check out those games, as they can actually be much fun. You gotta make sure you guys plan out on what you should be doing in this game when it comes to taking out enemies. Sure, there are some sections when it comes to stealth, but you don't really have to be stealth. And plus, thanks to that, there's no mission failure if you get caught by enemies, which is actually a good thing. Even though there are missions that you should sneak in these places, you don't have to necessarily do that, but it's best if you do. Otherwise, they may ring the alarm, but don't worry, the alarm doesn't last as long as you guys think. So that is a good thing. I'm pretty sure plenty of you guys may be surprised by me saying this, but this game only has 2 voice actors. One male and one female. And one male is Jim Cummings, who actually did plenty of male voice acting in the game. Which is very crazy how a guy like this is very talented for voicing so many different people at once. I do want to say I think the game automatically defaults the game to easy. The strange thing, even when you are playing the game on easy mode, you're still getting your butt kicked no matter what. You gotta have the biggest, highest skill in order to beat this game on the highest difficulty. Like, I kid you not, there are so many traps in this game. You could be in one moment a flamethrower guy come out of nowhere and burst through the flames, or he'll just shoot a rocket launcher at you. Like, you don't think that they would place these people there? It'd be like, okay, it's just maybe there's gonna be a guy coming out with a gun. No, he just shoots you flames and all that, which you don't even see coming until you know as he just pops out. It's nuts. That's why you need to be careful when it comes to this game. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Oh yeah, there's also vehicle choppers, which you also gotta take down at some point. But yeah, I'm not gonna spoil the story or anything, but I did have fun playing this game. But if you guys think about playing any of the other Army Men games, highly avoid you. Make sure you guys avoid the war games, because all they are, they're just the same rushed games, just to be there on PS1. I don't know why, but it is what it is. It's just there. No idea why, but it's there. I think I should wrap up the video by saying that the Army Men toys has had some sort of cult following, as plenty of people still to this day make action figure movies based off these toys, which is actually a pretty cool thing. It does have a great community, which I will go on to say that. Like, there's a big movie on YouTube which has millions of views, and there was one point another movie in Newgrounds, which I also saw and I thought was pretty good, but I can't find the video anymore. I don't know if it is something was there or not. Maybe one day we'll get another Army Men game. I mean, we've already got a spiritual game of the game known as like Mean Green's Plastic War or whatever for Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PC, in which it's mostly just an online multiplayer game, which is actually a pretty good one, which I'll probably get around to covering it at some point. But anyways, what do you guys think of this game?